Hey everyone! In this SmartBi video, let us explain 3 essential configurations to consider for a smooth transition from Universal Analytics to GA4. As you may already know, the current version of Google Analytics, Universal Analytics, also known as GA3, will very soon be replaced by Google Analytics 4. You have already transitioned to GA4? Awesome! This video will help you ensure that you enable a few important items that are not activated by default. What? You haven't upgraded to GA4 yet? Okay, don't panic. Let's start with the basics. The current version, GA3, or UA, will be usable until July 1st, 2023. After this date, all users will be forced to move to GA4, and Google will no longer collect data from your GA3 account. And worse, your GA3 data will no longer be accessible after January 1st, 2024. But we'll talk about this in a bit. What is important to understand is that the data collected from UA and GA4 are completely independent, and the two versions respond to very different data collection logics. For those reasons, you will not be able to transfer your old UA account into GA4. Your GA4 data will only be collected from the day it's set up and configured correctly. If you don't configure it, it's plain and simple. You won't have any data anymore. In short, if it's not done already, I highly recommend that you set up your GA4 account as soon as possible. The first thing to do is to configure the data streams. UA uses views, which allow users to filter the different properties of a website with a unique parameter. Instead, GA4 replaces these views with data streams. Simply put, these data streams are sources like a website or an app that sends data to GA4. There are 3 types of data streams: a website, an iOS app, and an Android app. Google recommends to use only 1 data streams per type of source. Why? Having more than 1 website data stream, for example, can create data inconsistencies. Okay, Paul, how do you configure data streams? If you're starting from scratch, I'll explain to you in a second. For those of you who already have an account, Google is super nice and provides an assistant that's easy to follow to help you configure your new account using the parameters of the old one. Now, for those who are starting from scratch, it's not complicated either. Start by clicking Admin. Select the account and property to apply the stream to. Then click Data Stream and choose the type of stream: web, iOS, or Android. Lastly, add the G tag to the header of all your pages to start collecting data. You can also use Google Tag Manager to activate tags automatically. It's a step you can actually skip if you're actually using the configuration assistant. Alright, let's talk about the real thing. I know so many people that would stop right there, only to realize a few months down the line that they are missing important data. If you don't want to be one of those people, here are 2 items that you must absolutely enable in your GA4 account. Enable Google signals, including demographic data. GA4 doesn't collect age, gender, and interest data by default. This type of data is also known as demographic data. To start collecting them, you need to enable collection in the demographic settings and choose Google Signals. Google what? Google Signals. Google Signals are data from users who have enabled ad personalization in their Google account. Enabling Google Signals allows for more extensive data collection than with Google UA, regardless of platform or user location. It's very important to set this up while you're configuring your GA4 account, because data collection is not retroactive. So, to enable signals, click on Administration, Data Settings, and Data Collection. Then activate Google Signals Data Collection and Advanced Settings to allow for ad personalization. Once you have set up the points listed previously, make sure everything is set up correctly. Before checking, please allow for 48 hours delay. This is the maximum amount of time that your configuration changes can take before they are taken into account. If you still cannot see any demographic data come in after 48 hours, Review each of the steps mentioned above to make sure that everything is activated as it should be. Increase the data retention period. In GA4, the data retention period is 2 months by default. This means that if you do not modify this parameter, Google Analytics automatically deletes data and events stored on their servers after 2 months. This doesn't leave you with much if you want to compare your results. That being said, Google helps us, well, a little bit, by making it possible to change the default value from 2 months to a maximum of 14 months. To increase this retention period, go to Administration, Data Settings, and Data Retention. Let me add 2 things. Firstly, this setting only affects the exploration reports, the section of the GA4 interface allowing you to customize your own reports for a period beyond the last 2 months. Standard reports under the Report tabs are not affected by this time limit, and the whole historical data remains available. On the other hand, gender, age, and interest data are always limited to 2 months regardless of your settings. But Paul, wait a minute, does this mean that I will lose all my UA data history and that my GA4 will no longer allow me to do a year-over-year comparison of my demographic data? The short answer is yes. But there's a solution. Make sure you tune in our next video where I will explain how you can keep your historical data forever. In the meantime, go complete your GA4 configuration. See you soon!